Greetings, comrades. We continue to discuss the report by Statistics South Africa on migration. In the first video, we did read out the executive summary of the report. In this video, we are looking into migration trends and the migrant characteristics. We always talk about migrant characteristics. So let's hear what this report says and also the trends, migration trends. It says between 2011 and 2015, there were fluctuations in the issuance of permanent residence and temporary residence permits. Right. In the most of cases, the temporary residence permit is the sticker that you get, the days that you get when you enter South Africa. And says if between that is from 2010 to 2022 showed a consistent increase until 2016, reaching a peak of 30,789,422. Like I'm saying, a visitor's or a temporary residence permit is normally called a visitor's, as we understand it. The days that they give you at the border. So from 2010 to 2022, there was a peak reaching up to about 30,789,422. And then there was a decline during the years of COVID, that is in 2020 to 2021. And there was a slight increase after 2022. And of course, there is a number for what is called transition migration, those that come through, that have been transit, that is transit migration. There was a substantial growth from 2016 to 2019, reaching a peak of 821,440. But of course, in 2020-21, because of the pandemic, there was a decline. Short-term visits displayed consistent growth until 2019, reaching a peak of 10,228,593, but witnessed substantial declines in 2020 and 2021, with a partial recovery again after COVID in 2023. Right, under the heading Immigration or Immigrant Stocks, it says, the data on immigration in South Africa encapsulates several northward trends, shifting landscape of median ages, steadily growing migrant population, and a notable trend toward young adults as primary movers. Dominated by the Black African population group, the migration landscape revolves around Gauteng as a central hub, while Zimbabwe emerges as a significant source country. So many Zimbabweans are coming to South Africa. In other words, the majority of migrants in South Africa are Zimbabweans, and the most African migrants come from the SADC region. Then employment among immigrant individuals based on Q3 of the Quota Labor Force Survey has steadily increased from 6% in 2012 to 8.9% in 2022. I know there's going to be a lot of talk about this because of unemployment numbers that are rising in South Africa. Industry preferences, especially in the wholesale and retail trade, exhibit variations in migrant employment. Zimbabwe constantly leads in sending students to South Africa for higher education and training. So Zimbabwe leads sending students for higher education and training. Then on the other hand, Ethiopia, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Somalia are leading countries in sending refugees to South Africa. We always make this point that while of course there are refugees from Zimbabwe, but it's a small percentage. The majority of Zimbabweans that are in South Africa are economic migrants. Even those that will then, the majority of those that will apply for asylum documents is not that they are necessarily political victims, but they are economic migrants who then want to use the asylum visa, as it were, as a work permit. But many refugees who come, or many migrants who come to seek refuge in South Africa for political reasons in the main, from Ethiopia, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Somalia as the leading countries. The distribution of immigrant learner and basic education has been presented across the years from 2018 to 2023. In 2018, there were a total of 26,992 learners. Over subsequent years, the number of immigrant learners increased steadily for both sexes. Finally, in 2023, the number of immigrant learners further increased to 37,856 males and 38,949 females, with a total of 76,805 learners. And says housing trends demonstrate a move toward formal housing, a surge in property ownership among immigrants, and enhanced utility access. So we have a number of migrants that own property in South Africa. Yet, despite the strides in housing and utilities, waste management remains a challenge, reflecting persisting issues despite advancements. I might point out that in this report, they are saying that the data that they are collecting, the figures that are mentioned in this report, do not speak to the legality of individuals, because the survey or the study, when it was done, they were not asking people of their legal status in South Africa. Right, the last part that we want to deal with here is safety and security. It says, in the prison system, migrants made up 1.7% to 2.6% of inmates from 2017 to 2021, averaging 2.3% over 5 years. Deportation events fluctuated widely over time between 2002 and 2022. A high number of deportations were observed in 2007, that is to say 312,284 people were deported in 2007. That is what we also must notice, that it was before the issuing of the Zimbabwe exemption permits and the Lesotho exemption permits in 2007, where you recorded 312,284 people that were deported. Reported cases of immigrants accused of crimes varied across provinces, with Gauteng consistently reporting higher numbers due to most people residing there. Cases involving nationals from Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Lesotho, Malawi, and Nigeria showed fluctuations over the years. So that's the first part that we said we are going to deal with on migration, which is migration trends and migrant characteristics. We are in the next video going to look into part B, which is impact of migration, but we had skipped what is called irregular migration, though I've just summarized it. It says South Africa lacks comprehensive data on irregular migration due to the unavailability of administrative records, which would allow for indirect estimation of this invisible group. On the other hand, the population census has a limitation, as it does not ask respondents about their legal status in the country during census enumeration, due to the fact that NSOs are not mandated to monitor the legal status of immigrants. Administrative sources from the Department of Home Affairs related to permits may give some insights in terms of number of permits given over a specified period. You might want to comment, and I'm sure you can also Google this report so that you can study this report. But as I've already said, we'll look into impacts of migration. Then you go to key recommendations on data collection. Otherwise, like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are on TikTok, please do follow us. Otherwise, goodbye.